What traits lead to high performances in clutch situations? Researchers from Australia and England did a study on high performers performing clutch situations. There's some common traits. They talked about getting in the flow, which we think about kind of like in the zone.
Mhm.
They said more in the flow.
Well, the flow, I
Mm.
know it as golf. John Augustine
Yeah.
plays at Vandy now. He's a turning pro, but I know he can get on. So he starts getting some birdies. He'll continue to make birdies, and he'll get on a run. And not him. I'm specifically saying him because I've played with him when we talked about it. But Tiger. I mean, look at at the last Masters that they just did. Tiger got a 10 on a par 3. A 10. That's unbelievable. And then birdied 5 of the last 6.
Mhm.
So to flip, that is a clutch performance. He flips something to go, this is going to be embarrassing. I mean, if I got a 10 on a hole, my day's done.
Mhm.
I'm not going to bounce back from that. I'm definitely not going to par. I'm not going to do. And he goes and almost gets all of those extra shots back, except for 2.
Brian, if you get 10 on a hole, you're pumped, right?
I am actually.
I've asked him to pick up way before he could ever get to 10. I would be like, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
he always
good.
tells me triple bogey. Just
Yeah.
pick up.
Triple bogey max. If you're a golfer and you're terrible, just do triple bogey, grab your ball, move on. Unless you're alone or you're playing with someone equally as bad as you. If anybody else is good, get the ball and come on. This is not the time.
They talked about some common characteristics from these people. They're so absorbed in the task, they're not even aware of the crowd. They have high levels of confidence, a sense of control over their performance, enhanced motivation to succeed. They enjoy it just enough, but not too much, which is kind of interesting, and being fully alert. Some say things slow down for them, and they even have a hazy memory of the event.
I could see. That's interesting. I could see that. Like you could be like, how would you feel? And you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? I think the highest you can get as an athlete is to whatever you're doing. There's no, you just know to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Me trying to learn to golf, the swing that I'm trying to learn is I'm trying to get to a point where I stop thinking about my swing. That's the difference of, besides their natural born gifts and talents of a professional golfer. Someone that's not good is they can't get over a big reason. Now they could just not be good. They're not hitting. There's many other things, but a gigantic thing while you're chunking balls and all this stuff is you're thinking about too much stuff. And so you're trying to make everything too perfect. In a weird way, I would imagine a lot of clutch performances. You could probably almost say, besides Tigers, where that has to be such a precise thing. But a lot of times it probably wasn't a perfect swing, perfect shot.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that didn't really. It's because they're fine. It's perfect to them. Like they're not searching for perfect. They're searching for it to get the job done. And whatever they do is, you could probably have a weird shot that, how'd the shot feel? They're like, it didn't feel that great when it came out. It wasn't like, if I knew it felt so good, perfect. It's like, they're like, I don't know, like rolled off my pinky,
Mm-hmm.
but they're prepared for that to happen.
I think that's excellence at anything, is that you just get to a point where you're no longer focused on the mechanics of something. You just
Yes.
get to a point where you can just feel it, and kind of like when you're doing stand up, you're no longer thinking about the rule of threes, all these technical things that you learn.
You just know
when you start, right? You just evolve past that. I watched this interview with John.
Which the rules of three, if someone doesn't know, that's in comedy. Well, they might but the idea is that you always have something happen in threes.
Yeah, if you list something, you always list 3 for whatever
the first
reason.
Two could be funny, and the last one needs to be the funniest.
Yeah,
first 2 might not be funny, but the last
Right.
one's the funniest.
Third one's different in some way. I watched this interview with John Mayer about what he thinks about when he solos, and he says he just thinks about shapes and colors. He's just thinking about the feel of it because he's so mastered the technical aspects of playing guitar that he no longer needs to think about that. He's just what he's feeling in the moment. So I think that's cool. You get that good at something, you're no longer consumed with the mechanics of it.
Your body just does it.
Right.
I mean, that's why they can, with athletes, they can learn something pretty quickly because they're trained to learn how to do it. That's why a lot of them, when they go over to golf, a lot of them are very good because they can figure it out and be like, what do I got to do? They might be terrible. I saw a guy play, this guy played football, and I was like talking to him. He's with, I forget his name, but he was with my buddy Toby Mack. If anybody knows Toby, lead singer of DC Talk for a long time. They were huge in the 90s.
Yeah.
And they're still huge now. He still does very big now, but they were, this other guy came up and he was his friend. He played football and he's kind of swinging the club. He's just starting. And the first shots were like just awful. But even in a little time of 15, 20 minutes, he hit a couple that were like pretty good. And you're like, oh, this dude, if he wants to figure it out, he's an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, I just don't, I'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they have that mentality.
Just such control over their bodies too,
Yeah.
in a way that, normal people don't have.
Yeah, when you ever see a slow-mo of what they're doing, of how they're twerking their body, or, like even like when they go up, you got to think, like when Michael Jordan when he does the dunk and he switches. I mean, we always see it in this slow motion. Just try to jump and hold a tennis ball and give it to your other hand. It would be very hard. And his it's a commercial. It's a movie. That's what it looks like. It's that, like an actor did it. And he did that in that high level of I think they they slow everything down. Everything becomes slower to them. So they're seeing it in a slower way, and they can do, now they have the physical abilities to keep himself up that long and jump that high.